NBA final season is officially here, and to celebrate, Play-by-Play Studios and the NBA have partnered together to bring us NBA The Run. This is a 3v3 arcade-style basketball classic, very akin to the old EA big games if you're familiar with those. So let's talk about it. You need to run to your favorite gaming marketplace and play this game with your friends. Over at Clique, if you're familiar with our channel, you know we like to be positivity Pete's over here. So let's start with the positives. One of the first positives I took away from this game is the variety in game modes, right? So technically they only have one game mode, which is tournament play, which is fine. But within that tournament play, every time you play a game, it spins a wheel of particular different game modes you can have in street basketball. And this ranges from where dunks get 3 points and everything else counts as 1 point. You have your pro play where it's just 2s and 3s. You have a quick game clock mode. There's so many different modes to play within that one tournament mode specifically that it still keeps every game fresh and also keeps the meta different, right? As you're going through each bracket. Another positive for me, because this is Play-by-Play Studios' first game and they're a small indie team right now, is the performance. I played this on both PC and on Steam Deck, and both ran extremely well. I hardly had any crashes. There were some server issues on the first day of release, which unfortunately I feel like is normal within this multiplayer landscape that we're in. But now servers are pretty solid, I would say, and I've never run into any performance issues with the game on either of those platforms. Finally, the last positive I want to bring to light within this video is the move variety. When I first loaded up this game, one of the first things as somebody that's very competitive I thought about was, how can I become better than the next person? What are the moves that allow me to reach a skill ceiling that other players don't really have right now? And through different dribble moves, self-alleys, the different types of passes you have, the handles, there's so many different things you can use to really stand out from the pack, right? When it comes to these games, you can definitely get into some games, and if somebody is astronomically better than the other players, you will notice it very, very quickly. And I think that's very, very cool. Defense is super fun and rewarding to do as well. If you don't believe me, go smack somebody's shot right now in that game and come back and comment I told you so. So now, time to flip over to the negatives. What were some things that I found wrong with these games? One of the main issues I have within this particular title upon release is the simple lack of different types of game modes and the ways to play with your friends. Whether it's a lack of online play, a lack of actual private matches to play with your friends, and just quick 2-on-2, 3v3, 1-on-1 scenarios. This game feels like there was a lot missing from that core multiplayer umbrella. And when you're having a game that is strictly multiplayer and you have 5 years to develop it, you cannot launch with only one game mode. Even if you have those other different types of modes, right, mixed in with the tournament mode, it still is going to lead you to really burning out of this game, especially when we get to our next point. And that next point that kind of plays into that is there's nothing to really play for right now. Within the game, there's various customization options that you can have, whether it be banners, emblems, different dunks, different moves for each of your players that you unlock throughout the game. But even within that, there's no rank system, there's no leaderboard, there's nothing to really that you can brag about, right, to your friends. There's no element of being able to compete at a level that you want to compete at and have something of bragging rights to show for it. And I think a lot of people want that right now, especially in their multiplayer games. And so I think it's going to be really tough to sustain this player base with simply informal, unrated, tournament mode that is, eventually going to get old to a lot of people. And the last thing is a little bit of a personal note, but if you identify with EA big games and that was a part of your childhood, you may experience the same thing as me here. I don't think this game has enough of identity and stylization to it. I don't think this game really has from the UI to the player designs, there's nothing in it that really makes you feel like you're diving into a different world or a different type of basketball game, other than the frenetic moves and the crazy dunks and things like that. But the game itself, there is not really a identifying style to it. It doesn't feel like it is indicative of what street basketball used to be. And not saying that they have to be that, but if you're going to make this type of game with obvious inspirations to things like NBA Jam and to NBA Street, we need something from it, right? And it has to have an identity that we can identify with, and that makes us reminiscent of that time in our lives. Needless to say, I do think NBA The Run has potential. I do think for $30, you and your friends are going to have a great time, but there are some reservations, obviously, that you need to take into consideration. I think this game has the potential to remain in my multiplayer rotation at least through the summer, with a little bit more of additions to the content within the game, different game modes, new players, new courts, and things like that to really keep things fresh. I think are going to be absolutely mandatory to keep this game on the shelf. It's also important to remember that NBA 2K is still set to release this year, right? And that's going to take a lot of the core NBA fan base from this particular game if more content is not placed in this game in a very quick fashion. With more modes, more incentives, and more ways to play with your your friends. I think this is well worth doing with your friends $30, especially if you are a sports fan or an NBA fan in general. This is the game for you. So on the game Clique scale, we're gonna give this a 3. And it's okay. It's an okay game. I think, depending on your relationship with sports and basketball, this could be anywhere from a great game to a really, really good game. Needless to say, though, this is an all right game for my taste. I think you will greatly enjoy it with your friends. This is a game that is so hard to not have fun with your friends in, whether it's the close games that you run into, the funny, fallovers and pushes that you have with the other players, and even making it to your first trophy together at the end of a tournament is so rewarding. It's so much fun. I'm going to keep playing this game. I just really hope they, add more content to it to keep us on longer throughout the summer, at least until GTA 6. Thank you for watching our review of NBA The Run. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you like NBA The Run, let us know in the comments. If you hate NBA The Run, also let us know in the comments. Greatly appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one.
Game Clique.